Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word. MCs shied away from.
I've been a throw up the B, cut up the I, W-A-N, yeah. And I could hide in a Obi-Wan in a cave. I can't do that part. But that repeats like pretty much two other lines. It's supposed to be first class.
You tried though. That's what's important.
I tried.
You put the effort out.
I put the effort out, and that was a spectacular fail, much like me playing Phasmo.
Well, what are we talking about?
Obi-Wan!
And what are we? We forgot the whole... we're just all over the place today.
Awkward tired. And we'll go over that here in a sec. Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are 230 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and we are struggling this morning. But if you'd like to see us struggle in real life, you can catch us live and in person on Twitch. There's Chris over there. He streams under Guyver Unit 01, GUIVERUNT 01. I stream as KSIG, K_SIG. You can catch us playing indie horror games and party games and group games and stuff together very badly on Fridays and Saturday nights with other members of the community. Also, if you just want to hang out and talk about things and whatever with us in the rest of the community, join our Discord. There's links in the show notes down below. You can do that. Discord is free. So yeah, hop in. There's channels to discuss movies and video games and beer and wrestling and ball sports and just anything of nerddom that you geek out about. Concerts. If there's something that you are passionate about that you want to talk about that we don't have in there, just let us know and we'll add it to the list.
So
now we're better. Now we're back on track.
It's also Father's Day. So happy Father's Day.
To us.
Happy Father's Day. To anyone out there listening who may be a father, you're not a father and you want to celebrate today, cool.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm your father, Chris. Oh, hold on. Which Chris? Son of a wrong. Oh, you already had it.
This is the more
voice. So we are talking about Obi-Wans today. And we're not doing a traditional Nerky on it. We probably will on the other episodes, but we're already 5 episodes in. So we are just going to kind of do a recap.
Our thoughts and musings and just kind of where the episode is, some of our reactions to other people's reactions to it. Like it's been pretty positive so far. Well, for the most part. And
we'll go over that too.
We had some early theories that if we would have been doing like play-by-play early episodes of this, we would have been so awesomely right.
And then so awesomely wrong on others.
And some things. Usually this one we could have probably been right on a lot more things than we typically are.
That's true too.
But it's been a good run on it. It seems like it started off with like a good little pop. And then it kind of was easy, and now it's ramping up about mid-season, and I'm good with that. So
I'm really digging this show, like a lot. I'm really liking the direction it's taking. I'm liking everything about this show. So are fans for the most part, because after they showed episodes 1 and 2, the premiere, like Disney tends to do, they have already picked it up for season 2, which is really awesome.
And it's early in our episode here, but I want to talk about that really quick. And them going into episode or already green lighting a season 2. And we're in time frames here, right? In the whole Star Wars universe. And so this is post episode 3. This is pre Rebels, right?
Mhm.
So this okay, so we're pre-Rebels, we're pre-Rogue One, we're pre-Episode 4, we're pre, A New Hope. There's what? How many years are there between this? Okay, so between the Obi-Wan series right now
Mhm.
and New Hope, there's approximately what, 10 to 12 years, roughly?
Hold on. Let's see.
Because
I knew you were going to ask that, and I should have been ready for that. Falls
Luke is roughly
between-
18 in A New Hope, right?
between in the timeline. Yeah, we know it's in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. It is
Okay, so
it's 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. That's right, because the twins are 10.
Okay, so this is 9 years before A New Hope, because 19 years passed between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy.
So it's 19 years, yeah. So
Okay,
we got 9 years after that.
We got 9 years left. It's a very tight time frame, really. But these events in Obi-Wan are pretty they're pretty condensed. They're not taking place over weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months. Like, this is a pretty short time frame.
Yeah.
And
so this takes place, so it's Revenge of the Sith, then it goes Bad Batch is right after that, then Solo, then Obi-Wan, then Rebels, then Rogue One, then New Hope.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a bit in between.
This is like one of my, even though I haven't watched Clone Wars and Rebels, I've watched Rogue One, I've watched a lot of the others. This is a really cool time frame of Star Wars, the transition between the prequels and the original. Like, this is when the turmoil happens. This is when the rebellion is getting its feet underneath it, and
it's not even getting its feet wet, though.
No, not yet. But it's a cool time frame. It's a cool time frame to explore. One of my concerns with this, and if they do, I can't see them doing more than like maybe 3 seasons. And the reason for that is, you're going to have McGregor's going to be getting older, so he's going to slowly come into, as he naturally gets older, he's going to start looking more, and they can age him up if they need to the Obi-Wan that we see in A New Hope. But then you have, like, you could really probably only do this for a couple of years, because your Luke and Leia are going to slowly get to that age that we've originally seen them.
Yep.
And they're going to look different. They got good matches right now for younger versions of them. But within a couple of years, if they don't look like the original trilogy versions, then it's gonna be weird. It'll be off.
You're gonna have some issues.
You will have some issues, and it's I can see them maybe going 3 seasons on this.
Max, I can see that.
Max, yeah, and that's fine. There's other stories that can be told too. I see this sitting up because you can see a lot of offshoots. You basically, you see the route that they're smuggling people out of, and there's a lot of things that can be told off of that. I don't think they're milking it like some people kind of say they are. This is a really cool time frame to tell stories, and there's a lot of stories to be told, and as long as it's done right, and they're creating new canon. Eventually, they're going to get out of this time period, though. Like, what else is left that they've announced that'll fall within this little gap?
Well, Bad Batch is before that, because they've announced Bad Batch, but they've like, are you talking that falls in between this, or like other Star Wars shows?
That falls between the time frame between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy.
Oh, Andor.
Okay.
Rangers of the New Republic's been picked back up, but that's set in Mandalorian time. Bad Batch is before this, and Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah.
That's really the only 2 that I know of that are in between.
And that's kind of where I'm getting with that. Time frames they'll start getting a little muddy, because we're going forward, then we're going backwards, and we're going forward again. Like, if we're going back to Bad Batch, we're coming back to Obi-Wan. we're going to Andor. Like, there's a lot of jumping around in a 10-year or how many years were there? Okay, so there's 19 years. There's a 19-year period.
19-year, yeah.
There's a lot of jumping around that'll happen then, and I'm not saying they're going to run out of stories. There's a lot of stories that can be told in that time frame, but keeping the canon straight and not retconning things is what's going to get difficult for them, I believe. I mean, you already kind of run into that a little bit just off the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. Some things just don't make sense. And a lot of things with Obi-Wan in A New Hope don't really line up, you know, and I know they've explained some of it, and some of you just go, oh, you just got to accept it, you know.
I don't have to accept shit. You're not going to tell me dick.
Well, I mean, just for the sake of allowing yourself to enjoy them, you just kind of have to take it in a little bit and be like, okay, well, that it just is what it is.
Just take the tip of it.
Yeah, just the tip.
There's our dick joke.
There's our dick joke early on.
You got to also something to remember. So this very, very, very important to remember timeline wise. Obi-Wan takes place 4 years before Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
Keep that in the back of your pocket to anyone listening, because that is super important, because Rebels has established canon for a lot of stuff.
And see, and because I haven't watched Rebels, and there's some things that I may bring up that just sit weird with me for the transition from Obi-Wan to A New Hope that may be explained in Rebels, and be like, and you can just say without even spoiling stuff, like, don't worry about it, that's taken care of.
Yeah, no.
Or even if you want to, you know, because it'll take me a long time to get to Rebels, and I'll probably forget about whatever you say between now and then anyway.
I think you need to, well, you don't have little man this week. When you get him back, I think you two need to start Rebels.
Well, here's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the same thing with him I did with my oldest, is I'm working him through the movies, and he is not as invested as she was at that age. So her at that age, we did like a whole weekend, and we did the machete order of watching the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you're introducing somebody that's like, if you got somebody that you're wanting to introduce to Star Wars, and they're wanting to watch these movies because, you know, usually it's a friend or a loved one or somebody like that. And they're like, okay, you're really passionate about this movie. These movies, I've never seen them. I'm going to watch them with you. Look up the machete order, which is you watch episode 4, episode 5, then you watch the prequel trilogy, and then you finish with episode 6. Is a really cool way to do it.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's a really cool way, because it gives you this, you get the build up of the first 2 original, and then you get this, then it's more like you get kind of like the Vader backstory, and then you get all the fun stuff of the conclusion. And so it's like you're watching all this, and then you get a flashback almost. And so when she's like 7, maybe 8, when we did that, and nobody had, and I've talked about this on the show before, somehow she had dodged all the stuff of, you know, that iconic line of "I'm your father." And when she got to see that, she turned around and she looked at me. She's like, "That's Luke's dad. He's Luke's dad." I didn't know. Nobody, like, she was all worked up, and it was the coolest thing ever. So with a little one, that's a really cool thing to do. With somebody older, they're already going to know, but you still get that backstory. So it's a cool way to watch it.
That's a good idea.
Some camps even omit episode 1 completely, but I think if you're watching it with a small child, you leave episode 1 in, because that's a cool way for them to relate. Like, oh, there's a cool kid doing stuff that's really cool. You know, it's a cool way to watch it.
It is. It's not.
But I want to go through all those with him first before we get to Clone
Do that.
Wars.
If he doesn't, I do suggest Rebels, because it is cartoony and it's more drawing to little kids. And it is such a great show. It really is. And flash fact for you all on Father's Day, speaking of Kyle saying, you know, "I am your father," was the line, "Luke, I am your father."
This is it's not Luke, I'm your father. He says, no, I'm your father.
Correct, because most people, when doing the impression, say Luke, but that gives the context.
Well, it gives the context, and it's just so much fun to try to say Luke in Vader's voice.
Yep. Luke. But yeah, so Rebels is fantastic. This has a lot of context with Rebels, also Star Wars Rebels. So I highly suggest watching Rebels. Oh, before we get any further, listener of the week. Who's our listener of the week?
That is Mr. Banner. Doctor
Banner.
Dr.
Why?
Bruce Banner. Well, one, he's an awesome dude. I mean, he plays with us as often as he can on the weekends. And that's
works
not why.
Really hard at his job too.
Dude works a lot. And so I know he's got a lot of windshield time, and he said he's went back to the beginning of our episodes, all the way to episode 1 of Every Man's Guide to Nerdom. If you guys haven't went back, go listen to some of those. You can hear us progress in quality and things. But he's went back to and he's just going through the whole catalog and giving us feedback and telling us the things that he thought were funny, and it's just
he thought he was stupid or thought that was stupid.
Yeah, like, really? You guys talked about that for 20 minutes? Like, well, we kind of did.
Well, he was cracking up. What did he say about the dick leg?
Yeah, what was that one from? That was
wasn't that Bad Batch?
It may have been.
I believe that was Bad Batch, because we were talking about the dick leg.
So yeah, so Banner's our listener of the week. Also streams
Hey,
on Twitch.
Banner.
So you guys check him out. He streams with us, but we appreciate you, buddy.
We do. We really do. You're an awesome guy. So thank you for listening. You know, if you all want to be the listener of the week, let us know you're listening.
At least for a week.
At least for a week. That's all you have to do. We're like, yeah, listen to the first 3 minutes of the episode.
Yeah. Or
Cool.
lie to us. As long as it makes us feel good, you can lie to us.
Lie to us. Your makeup is terrible. Okay, so let's get going here. So Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is what would you say the high overview is that we knew of before it started?
You know, I've been doing this. I've talked about this a few times. I'm trying, if it's something I'm going to watch, I'm trying to avoid trailers and anything. Like, I'm trying to go into all these new shows and even movies, even outside Star Wars universe, like Marvel stuff like that. I'm trying to go into it blind.
Right.
With that way, it's been pretty cool. Like, I'll watch like a little, you know, some things you can't avoid, and like, you're going to catch a trailer somewhere. Like, okay, this new cool thing's coming out, and then I'm aware of it, and then I'm trying to not dive into it too far, because I found with me personally, it tends to influence my expectations, and a lot of times you're going to have your expectations set way higher. And you can be let down. You start speculating, like, oh, are they going to do this? Are they going to do this? Oh, I hope they do this. And you get this in your brain that you want these certain things to happen during these movies, you know, or TV series or limited run series that you as a fan want to see. And then when it doesn't happen, because they can't cram everything that everybody wants into all these products, you get let down. And so I'm trying to take them for what just at face value when I start watching them. Now with Obi-Wan, it's a little different, because I mean, it's just there. Just all you would have to see is the Obi-Wan title, and you know that it's likely it would have been one of two things. It's going to be filling in the gap that we see now, or it would be a young Obi-Wan, which that could be season 2. What if season 2 wasn't actually the continuation of all this, but we get to see young Obi-Wan,
like as a Padawan?
Yeah.
Or a youngling?
His whole story, or what happened
that'd
with
be kind of awesome.
His family in Brobi-Wan, or, you know,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-2, whatever we'd want to. Obi-2 Kenobi. Because the whole brother thing. Well, that's
when he makes a poopy.
Well, brother...
he's taking an Obi-2.
McGregor's brother is a pilot for the British Air Force, whatever it is, the Royal Air Force or something like that.
Right.
And that's his call sign is Obi-2 Kenobi.
Is it really?
I'm like
That's actually
90%
kinda awesome.
sure.
Okay. I did see something this week, I think it was, that speaking along the same lines, it said, what I want to see is a show about Lando Calrissian.
Oh, yes.
You saw this too? And it
Yes.
said it's Billy D. Williams playing cards with, like a bunch of the scum of the galaxy, like he likes to hang around with,
Yeah.
playing Sabak. And then he starts telling stories about his younger days, like as the young dashing rogue. And then you cut and it's Donald Glover as Lando, like throughout the stories. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah. Like I think somebody even said like doing that and then adding it in like where he embellishes it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so he's narrating, like Billy D's narrating the whole thing and he embellishes, and then Glover's version of him is like doing it and then realizes like, oh, this is an embellishment. And so he kind of like overacts it a little bit, or like he's aware that the narrator is embellishing it. And so
And or like one of the other characters, he either breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And he looks at the camera and it's like, that's not how it happened. Or it's one of the guys, or Donald Glover said, that's not happening. It's one of the guys calling him out on it.
Yeah.
Like that he's playing cards with.
Like a record scratch happens. Like, I bet you're wondering how I got this.
Yeah. Or it's like, I'm thinking of that old episode of South Park. It was one of the early episodes. And what was it? They were all eating cake or something at the end. And it's like, and now that's what I call a sticky situation.
Yes. Oh God, that's such a classic one.
Well, like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, ha 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 ha, and Lando. And then every episode it like ends with Lando just looking at the camera, giving that Billy D smile.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch the shit out of that.
And he cracks like a bottle of Colt 45.
Droid 42.
Droid 42.
Droid 66.
Oh, ooh. That's a marketing opportunity missed.
It's like a dirty martini. It's just dirty.
It's just dirty.
So, okay. Back to Obi-Wan. So
back to the
back to what we're supposed to be talking about. This show takes place 10 years after the execution of Order 66. Order 66 is what turned all the clones against the Jedi. This is what forced a young Anakin to become Vader, basically, and kill the younglings. It was not the start, but I think it was kind of the culmination. And let me tell you, so far, this cast is stellar. And I'm not just saying that. Like, this cast is so freaking good. Like, everyone in this show so far, I have loved who they are. Someone talking to you?
Nope, I was pulling up the cast list really quick.
But yeah, no, it was. I've got the cast list down here too, but it is so good. So we'll go over some of the cast here once we hit them. But at the beginning, Kyle and I have it up and running because we can't remember everything. But it starts with a recap.
I am so glad they did the recap too.
I am too. Naboo, you've got the Jedi Council. You've got a very young Obi-Wan as a Padawan with Qui-Gon. You see stupid Anakin pod racing. The introduction of Anakin to Obi-Wan. And then, of course, Yoda saying how the future's clouded. Like, it just goes through the whole first three movies, basically.
Yeah. I'm glad they did this because it's been a while since I watched the prequel.
Right. And I forgot about that, where Yoda wouldn't allow them to take Anakin as a Padawan. And that's what forced Obi-Wan to take the trials.
So he could take. Okay, yeah.
So he could take him as a Padawan. And then Qui-Gon, gets cut down by Maul, and he promises, you'll take him as a Padawan. Speaking of Maul was cut from this series. which is just ugh. I wish Maul was in here. Because Maul's one of my favorite characters. And then
Yeah, I was thinking. I thought he was supposed to make.
he
an
was. They
appearance.
cut him because I have a feeling he's going to show up in Ahsoka.
Okay, so you're just gonna have him popping up everywhere. That makes sense.
I think that's it, because if you think about it too, there are so many damn characters they've introduced in Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't want it to be overwhelming, especially with Vader being the main big bad.
Do we want to talk about this version of Vader now, or do we want to wait?
No, let's wait. Let's
Okay.
wait a little bit. Let's get through this. Basically, again, it's just the recap. And then you have the whole where Obi-Wan, burns the shit out of him, cuts him in half. His arm, one of his arms is gone, both his legs.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor finds him, and then they take him back to Camino, and they rebuild him. And then "You were my brother, Anakin." That's a classic line to me.
Oh, and it hits so much harder because of this episode too, or this
Exactly.
series too.
And then we see the birth of the twins, and then the rise. I'm getting goosebumps just looking at that scene again.
Mhm.
The death of Padme, and then Yoda talking about the twins must be kept safe. And then you see Bail Organa saying, "We'll take the girl."
Good old Jimmy Smits.
Good old Jimmy Schmidt. Like, he is such a great character in this.
Mhm.
Like, I really love him, and he plays a larger role in Rebels. Important to know.
Good.
And then you see Obi-Wan dropping off Luke with Owen and why can't I think of her name? Beru, Aunt Beru.
And Baru.
So it's just a recap of the first 3 movies, which I think if they wouldn't have done that, we would be confused, because it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go back and rewatch them, and which I'm not against. And here's the thing: like when those prequels came out, just like anytime anything new comes out with Star Wars, they're met with lots of criticism and all this stuff. They've aged really well.
Oh, extremely well.
And they've become more and more important with all this time frame of content that Disney's releasing for Star Wars. Like, they're super important now. They're being built off of so much. And so, yeah, it's time to go back and revisit that.
At the beginning here, we see younglings, and I just realized what we saw after this episode 5 too. And then they're training with their master, and then Order 66 is executed.
Mm-hmm.
We see them, it's more of a close-up of Order 66, which we didn't get to see from the Jedi perspective.
Right.
Which is what I really love what they've done with this series. It's just different perspectives on stories we quote already know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you just hear, execute Order 66 constantly being said. Like, oh, this was so cool. It really was. Like, I really enjoyed this. And then, of course, the next thing we're on Tatooine. Tatooine is probably, honestly, the most central planet out of the Star Wars universe, in my opinion.
Yeah, you think of how much comes back to Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a small theory I'm going to throw out here on that, is that at some point in time, unless it's somewhere deep in lore that I've missed somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
that there is something about Tatooine and the Force. Like, there's something that's ancient there that they don't know about. Like,
I'm pretty sure that was the Krayt Dragons.
What was that from?
The Krayt Dragons, they've referenced that throughout Star Wars. And then Mandalorian, remember, killed one?
Okay.
Or no, Boba. Where was that Mandalorian? I'm getting confused.
Okay, now okay, never mind. Okay,
That was
I thought you
Mando.
were talking about like, is this a group that I'm missing? No, the actual dragon. Okay,
No, I want to say Crate Dragons were on there. Okay, so let's talk about Tatooine for a sec here also. So what's his name? Takeda Watiti. You know, we all know I can't fucking pronounce names. They have given him the green light for a trilogy, Star Wars trilogy.
okay.
He said he is totally getting away from all known characters, our main characters.
Well, that's been talked about for a while. That Skywalker saga is over, but it's not because we're still doing this stuff,
Right.
which is
But
fine. I'm not complaining about that.
He officially said this past week, I'm not going to use characters you already know. I want to start new characters. Do you think Tatooine will be part of that?
If he's wanting to stray away from stuff that we know,
No.
now I wonder if he means super
Just the
popular,
characters?
the stuff that like everybody would know,
I think that's what he means.
like Skywalker's, Vader's, just anybody that's going to be instantly recognizable. He'll still have references in there. You have to.
Well, yeah. I mean, there will be Easter eggs.
There'll be things in there, but I mean, do you think he's going to go? They haven't set a time frame yet.
Mm-mm.
And so do you think he's going to go like Old Republic? That's something I want to know more about. And I want to, like, that's a very interesting thing to me because it's totally foreign to me. I know very little about Old Republic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, they are doing a trilogy movie set for Old Republic.
Yeah.
Or no. That's High Republic is what they're doing. High Republic. Okay, go on.
Yeah, but so like Old Republic times, what that's like 2,000 years before all this. A lot of the games and stuff are set in that.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, give or take. But that would be an interesting time, because of earlier like Jedi persecution and stuff, and just that would be a cool thing to explore on film. The canon and stuff's out there. You can read the books on it, or you can play SWOTR if you wanted to, Star Wars: The Old Republic, and explore a lot of this stuff. But the backstory, I don't see them going terribly far into the future. There may be some stuff there, but I think what you run into if you go too far into the future, or even super close to the ending of the sequel trilogy,
right,
that you're going to be looked at as rehashing old ideas, because these are all really basic. When I say basic, I don't mean it in a bad way. You've got the evil bad guy, you've got rebellion, you've got power rising against, you've got the hero. Like, these are classic literary themes and things that have been used forever, that you they seem like they're repeating because they work to tell a story. But if he's doing another trilogy that's going to be taking place in the future with, we've got another big bad that's trying to accumulate a huge force of people, like, that's what you'll probably see. And I don't think that's what he would want to do. Now, I think he's probably going to, hopefully would do something a little further away, a little bit more granular level. You still keep the lore involved. You don't have to have Jedis. You don't have to have
Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, you don't have to have a Force-focused movie. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening. There's a lot of cool, technology that they use in the movies. I'm talking about like the actual, not like movie technology, but like starships and weapons and systems and things like that they could use, and it can make it interesting. And if it can do that, and if you can do it well, it'll be really successful.
Yeah, and I agree with everything on that. It's like, that's why I'm excited about the Rogue One movie, which is supposed to be, I think, a trilogy about Wedge in his time in Rogue One.
Okay.
Wedge, huge supporting character. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that they can do with this, and I hope that they do it well. I really do. And that's why I also think that they need to. Who's the director of this?
Oh,
Deborah Chow.
Does
that sound right?
I'm Look, I don't know. You were going to ask me.
I'm looking. Is it Deborah Chow?
Yeah, Deborah Chow.
Deborah Chow. They need to give Deborah Chow a movie or 10 because she understands the source material.
Mhm.
So this is why I'm so thrilled with this. Okay, back to Obi-Wan, or else we're never getting through this.
Oh, yeah.
So
We're going to
when
be pushing it.
I know, so when we see a ship come, immediately I knew what it was because I've watched Rebels. This ship comes down and out walks the Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor, followed by Fifth Brother and Third Sister. I didn't know it was Third Sister at the time. I knew Fifth Brother because it's the same guy as Rebels and the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels. Another important fact to note, the way the Grand Inquisitor looks completely different from the initial trailer reveal. There was such backlash towards Disney from the way the Grand Inquisitor looked because he didn't look like the Rebels character. They changed it to look more like the Rebels character, which is really cool. They listened. It's like Sonic.
Okay.
But here's the other thing I saw. I saw this great GIF that, showed, fanboys are upset because the Grand Inquisitor doesn't look like the Grand Inquisitor of Rebels. Then they showed a picture of Christopher Lee of Count Dooku from the movies, and then his Clone Wars counterpart, and then like Amidala, like all these characters, and like how they're elongated and just weird looking.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing that now.
Yeah. And it basically said, suck it up, Jedi Cup.
Yeah.
So that was changed. So that was pretty cool. The guy who plays the Grand Inquisitor is great. The guy who plays Fifth Brother, I'm like, why does I like his voice? He looks cool. He was Han. I think he was Han. It was his name in all the Fast and the Furious movies from Tokyo Drift on.
Yep.
So oh, okay, that's cool. And then
they really made him look different. They did a good job with his.
Oh, they did a great job. He just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Moses Ingram as Third Sister Inquisitor Reva.
Yep.
Let's talk about her controversy real quick. Okay. What is her controversy?
Well,
just call it how it is. Too.
People were pissed off because they had a black woman playing an Inquisitor. To call it what it was. Twitter kind of blew up over that.
Fucking fanboys.
Now, she grew on me. I didn't dislike her at first because of that, obviously. Mm-hmm. To me, early on in the season, her acting seemed a little flat to me. It was just really, it's like, there's got to be something here.
Yep.
It makes more sense as you get later into the series of why she
acted
acts
like she did. Yeah.
She acts like she does. It makes more sense, but it would have been nice for some more hints of that maybe a little early on, but that probably would have gave some stuff away too.
Mm-hmm.
She's very deadpan, very straight, laced,
almost no emotion.
No emotion. And it comes off as extremely flat. At least it did to me. But like I said, as we got into this last episode, the most recent episode, it makes a lot more sense of why she would be like that. And I haven't seen her in anything else, so I don't have anything to compare.
Any reference? It was cool that the Star Trek universe is rallying behind her. Disney's rallying behind her.
Oh yeah,
because she showed some of the DMs and they were awful, using the N-word towards her and stuff.
Regardless if you like her as an actress or if you dislike how she's acting, there's no sense in that.
It's ridiculous, but she is an amazing actress. She makes you hate this character. She makes you intensely dislike her character. And that's why I think she's such a great actress at this. And yeah, she hasn't been in a lot else.
I was just looking to see what else she was in. She's in the Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit is Jolene. which I never watched the Queen's Gambit.
This is just one that I've recognized.
But yeah, it's so I don't know. She's great. I really enjoy her as third sister, Riva. And so you've got the Grand Inquisitor flagged by two other Inquisitors. Inquisitors were, for the most part, a lot of them were fallen Jedi who turned to the dark side to save themselves. And I mean, they were evil. The Inquisitors were evil. They were tasked with hunting down and finding Jedi throughout the universe and getting rid of them.
Yep.
And you find out how evil they are just literally from the get-go here.
See, I was thinking for some reason that there were Inquisitors in like the before times. I've got that in my head for some reason. Yeah. Well,
was there? Because I don't think there was. I think Inquisitors were created by Vader because they reported directly to Vader.
Yeah. Why was I thinking that they were in the Old Republic times too? I don't know.
They might have been. But, they're going through this whole thing. They're trying to look for a Jedi in this bar. You come to find out that Riva, third sister, like she starts burning this dude with her lightsaber from the get-go. And you find out early on, like within the first, 11 minutes of the show, that she has an obsession with Kenobi. Kenobi. That's the theme of this show.
What's the name
I
of
should
the
hope
show?
it should be.
Yeah, but it's in the title.
It's in the title. But then, she's getting reprimanded. So important to know. She's obsessed. She's getting reprimanded. They're like, pretty much just give it up. Next thing you know, we see, again, we're not doing this typical nerdy, just trying to get through this, but this is important to know for the setup for the whole show. Because we see like a mining or a butchering operation and like a crate dragon, like body.
Is that what that is? I thought that looks more fish. What were they mining or harvesting?
Here, look that up real quick. I thought it was a crate dragon because it's huge. But, we see Obi-Wan here at this point. And Obi-Wan is he's Ben now. He's turned into Ben Kenobi.
It is, or a similarly massive beast. It looked I thought it looked different.
It was a crate dragon?
That's what somebody's calling it.
So
we'll
I figured it was, just by the size. And it's it's like a crappy camp, like of work people. And Obi-Wan's chopping off, they're all slicing up the meat. He slices up this one piece of meat, puts it in his pocket, cleans off his knife, and punches out for the day. And this is important. Why is this important? This shows we have an Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan in hiding, and a very, very, very broken Obi-Wan after Order 66.
Flying under the radar, just surviving. And very, reminiscent to some of the things that Rey was doing early on in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
From getting his credits and his pay and an overseer and even to what he eats when he gets back to his little Obi-Wan cave.
His Obi cave.
Yeah.
He sees this guy getting abused, and another important thing to show how broken he is, he just lets it happen, literally right there in front of him. And he just does this day in and day out.
It's just interesting to see him. It shows
migrant workers. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, like it shows some passage of time because you get a introduction into a rougher, grittier, more haggard Obi-Wan, where he's assumed the life he's been now. He is now Ben Kenobi.
And he's got, what is it, an EOP? I don't know how to pronounce that. This is important because this is pretty much his only companion. He
Yeah.
feeds it that piece of meat that he gets, which is kind of weird because it's got a weird snout.
Mhm.
And then you see him riding in the desert to his cave, and he's a hermit. This is the cave we see him in A New Hope.
Yeah. Is that the cave that they hide in? Because he has in A New Hope, he has a place to live. He's got a like a little hut thing.
Is it? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I can't remember if it's in the cave or not. I thought it was. But the next thing you know, he has a Jawa coming up. He's doing business with the Jawas. This just shows you the Jawas. Like if you remember Amy Sedaris' character, sleeping with the Jawas, the hairy little bastards.
Yeah.
They're very, they're everywhere. They're the scavengers. You need something, they'll find it, even if it's yours, and you have to buy it back at 100 times the cost.
Hold on,
not really important.
Go back a little bit. Because what he bought? Let me go back here. It was like that ship. Is it a ship? It's part of a ship. That's what Luke plays with. Not plays with, but when he's in A New Hope, when he goes with old Ben Kenobi back to where Ben lives, he has that. He looks at that. He picks that up and looks at it.
Does he really?
The little starship thing. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, next thing you know, he's buying all this stuff. You wonder why. He's dreaming. He's sleeping. And we imagine that this is the same dream he has every night. And it's not a dream, it's a nightmare. It's of his time with Anakin, Qui-Gon, the fight, just everything from his everything from his past. Everything from his past.
Past. He had terrible past.
I've got terrible past, guys. But this again, I think if they didn't show this wouldn't show just how truly broken he is.
Mm-hmm. And this leads into a theory that I want to get into when we get to the wrap up in the transition from him to A New Hope and what happens, and then you can kind of fill in the gaps with stuff from Rebels if it makes sense or not.
Okay.
But yeah, he's maintaining his duties, which we know he does for a very long time. He's watching over. We see young Luke playing around, doing a lot of the same things that little Anakin did when he was younger. Pretending to fly and all that. So he's holding his promise to keep an eye on at least this one for now.
Absolutely. And he's watching Owen and Beru and, like Kyle said, Luke, like from a distance in binoculars, like the creepy old uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they're sleeping, he just he's not even like running and sneaking. He's just slowly wandering up and leaving stuff there on, Owen's farm, Moisture Farm. And then here's the other thing. The Jedi who the Inquisitors were hunting at the beginning, we see him here. And he's saying, are you Obi-Wan? I've searched for you, because he's on the run. They're hunting Jedi. And he's like, my name's Ben. You need to get out of here. And the young Jedi's like, I have nowhere else to go. What do you expect me to do? And Obi-Wan's like, I can't help you, and just rides off.
Sorry, dude. You're on your own.
Like, Dicko-Wan Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan O'Dick is what he is, but he's broken. Next thing you know, we see Alderaan with Leia's mom. I think it's Leia's mom, isn't it? And then we see a young Leia. So, flash fact, the little girl who plays Leia, is actually, she just turned 10 years old. She was born June 4th of 2012.
Okay, so she's like 100% the right age.
Yeah, literally just turned 10. So right at age, this little girl is everything as an actress. Like, if she keeps this up, it's like, she is such a great actress. And what I think about this whole series, it shows that Leia wasn't this helpless princess. Like, you got to remember, Leia was a great general. She was the one who spurred the rebellion into action.
Mhm.
She led the rebels, and she has always been like this natural leader. And she's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know, strong with the Force. Like, it's just great. Like, she's just such a great little actress, and it shows how awesome Leia is.
I think I saw the meme where it said the sass is strong with this one, and it is.
It is. It really is.
She is so like she encapsulates that perfectly, like what you think a young Leia would be like, just sassy and quirky and just quick with a comeback, and like will cut you down with words in a heartbeat.
Right.
She's been doing it for a long time, apparently.
I'm wondering if this is an Easter egg for the Rangers of the New Republic. So they're looking at the ships. One's a casino ship. She goes, "Ooh, an Aquilian Ranger, probably scouting for mercenary pirates." I wonder if that's a setup for later future.
Could be.
Um.
It really could be.
So, and next thing you know, her mom, Leia's mom, comes out and she's getting on to her, saying, you know, Leia Organa, you know, basically quit running off to the woods when you don't want to do shit. So we get to, you know, the next thing, and Obi-Wan's being confronted by Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen tells him, "Leave us the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm. Back off, Ben.
Back off, Ben. We don't want you here. We don't need your help. I'm going to raise him. We're better off without you." Next thing you know, the Inquisitors show up, and Reva, third sister, starts questioning Ben, or not Ben, Uncle Owen.
Yeah.
And if it seems like we're jumping around, we are, because we're not trying to spend as much time because we're trying to get through this. This may be a two-parter, Kyle.
We may have to do this half and then do the recap.
The recap of the because here's the thing. It is such a lot of info. We don't want to not do it justice.
Right.
So basically the Inquisitors are calling out, you know, "Do you want to save this man?" And she pulls her saber on Owen, and she's like, "Next time, Owen." And, you know, that's what the Inquisitors do. They instill fear.
Yeah.
And then Fifth Brother pushes Reva up against the wall. And basically you come to find out she's not even, she's the weakest of all the Inquisitors. And so therefore the lowest ranking.
Yeah.
And she says, "This place is beneath us. Why are we here?"
She's focused on her mission of fighting Obi-Wan.
Yep. While the other Inquisitors follow the Grand Inquisitor to a T.
Yeah, which you know they're supposed to. This is cool. You see some, you get a little deeper into the ranks of different things. So you can find out there are people that aren't just rank and file and that just fall in line with the Empire, even within the Empire. Mm-hmm. There's still some rebellion in them, and.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And so it's cool to see that, because you just kind of expect like everybody just to fall in line and do as they're told.
Right.
And you see what happens on the smaller level when it doesn't happen.
Yep. Okay. So why don't you explain this part here and why this is important? Why Leia, you know, says what she says. I'm going to get some more tea. I'll be right back.
Okay, so we see her. She's we cut back to where she's like discussing with her cousin, and this is just a good setup for like how her attitude and stuff. She's at a very formal like royal dinner. She's thanking one of her droids, and her cousin is making fun of her. He said, you know, "Why do you thank your droids? Why do you do this? Why are you showing compassion to something that's different?" And he said, you know, she says, "Good manners." And he says, "You don't need manners when you're talking to a lower life form." And then without even like batting a little eyelash, she goes, "Well, then I guess I don't need manners when I'm talking to you." That is a perfect little line for her. When you see just how Leia is when she gets older. I mean, she snaps back so quick. And then she's still discussing with the cousins. They're having the talk, and they'll never let you leave the planet. And then he tells her that you're not even a real Organa, and just trying to cut her deep. And she's just so quick with everything back. She's like, you're scared of him. You're scared of your father. And so this is her setting up her little rebellious attitude. She's really good at reading people. I mean, she's telling her cousin here that you're acting the way you are, not because you're powerful or you have this stature. You're scared. That you've never made a decision for your entire life and you never will. I mean, she's just cutting him down at every chance that she gets. And that's what Leia does, is she's able to read people and analyze them. And from a young age, you see her doing this.
You think that's because of her connection with the Force too? I think it is.
Her being able to read people, that might be, because I mean, she obviously has something.
Yeah.
She has something. And, hers is just a different version of what we're normally seeing with the Force being
And I was thinking, because it's like, we see the other, like we've seen in previous movies and shows, like the Jedi going, you feel afraid.
Mm-hmm.
They can feel their feelings, but then like you were saying, Leia can read into it and read people.
Yeah.
Like a book.
Yeah. And so that may be a little, like we've always had little hints that she may be Force sensitive to some degree for some reason, something, but she just was never trained and never honed it and never realized that she had it. This is just her natural ability coming out.
Right. But we know she was trained later.
Yeah.
She just never finished it.
Yeah.
From movie 8?
I think so.
The Last Jedi? Yeah, it was.
I think, they kind of like...
Remember, because that's where we got Super Leia.
Yeah. They discussed it kind of briefly, and I think that was kind of a CYA thing from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
From where everybody was like, well, if Luke has it, how come Leia doesn't have it? How come we never saw Leia do anything? It's like, okay, well, we'll do this, and now we're covered. Man. So.
Meh.
Meh.
Well, and then next thing you know, we see, Leia's running out, and then she gets captured by what we assume is bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm. These dang intergalactic bounty hunters. And
then, Obi-Wan's getting a call saying that Leia's been captured. We need you. It was you're our only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it was.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And then
our only hope.
Obi-Wan's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not a Jedi anymore. Forget this. And
not my monkey, not my circus. I'm watching the kid. I'm
not my lightsaber.
Yeah, I'm doing my job. But I gotta come do your job. I can't watch 2 kids.
Oh, then he does his job. And then he gets back. Mm-hmm. He sees the Jedi that came to him for help strung up.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you think that was the turning point for him?
Probably, like him knowing that the Inquisitors were there, that Leia getting kidnapped, that it's just serious now. Like there's something more going on than typical Empire bullshit.
Yep. And then we see that because he didn't respond, Bail Organa comes to him and says, I need your help. You need to find my kid. You promised you would keep them safe.
Yep.
And that's not just Luke.
Yeah, he's holding him to task.
We see Leia captured. Did you know who the bounty hunter was when you saw him? Yeah.
I knew that instantly. Like
I did too. I was like, that's Flea.
Like I was still trying to figure out why you would get. It's awesome.
No, it is awesome. Cool. Like Flea must have wanted to do it. I've heard he's a Star Wars fan.
Oh, obviously. I mean, that's why they got Bill Burr and all these others that they're just cool to see.
I tell you, I was pissed off at this though. Super, super, super pissed off at this part though, specifically.
Why this part?
Because Flea came in fully dressed and didn't have an intergalactic sock on.
Oh, he didn't have his space sock on.
He didn't have a space sock on. Like he that's how his species runs through the woods with Space sock.
It'd been cooler if he would have been wearing a bandana, though. I think it could have been like space bandana, kidnap Leia Organa.
Do 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 do.
Would have been even better if they would have had him, and then they would have had if they could have got Will Ferrell in here somehow, just because of the cross up between Will Ferrell and what's his name, Chad Smith.
Yes.
They could have worked in that like Will Ferrell was like the replacement
bounty hunter.
Replacement bounty hunter.
And then he comes in and goes,
I hate that I had to find another one that looked just like the last one.
Obi-Wan a loop. Obi-Wan a loop. Come on.
Oh,
We're going Jedi hunting.
Going Jedi hunting.
Come on. You can come too. Do 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 do.
Flea did pretty good though.
Ron.
Flea did pretty good. He's got the look for one.
He does got the look.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did great in this. I really did.
I did too. It was a really cool little what would it be a cameo? It's not really a cameo. It's just like
it was a part.
It's just a part. Yeah.
It was a full-on part. But and then next thing you know, he contacts who hired him for the job. We confirm they are bounty hunters, and it's Reva. Reva's behind all of it. She is so obsessed with Obi-Wan. And then it ends with Obi-Wan leaving in a ship, like going to help Leia.
And the series ended there. Really wish they would have done more with it.
Thank you. You've been beautiful.
Yeah. Wish they would have done more with the show.
We may only get through episode 2.
Yeah.
Like I know we said we do a high overview. I don't think we can on this. I think we enjoy this damn show too much.
Yeah. We're on to episode 2, and at the very beginning, did you catch this is cool?
I forgot you could control this. Oh yeah. He's a clone veteran.
So Obi-Wan's walking the streets. Where did he go to?
I forget the system.
I almost said Maripol. Wrong universe.
Maripol. Oh, is it Patch Kenobi?
Patch Kenobi. Working at what was the bar? Wolverine's bar.
Why can I not think of that?
I don't remember. But here's what's cool though. So you see an old clone
trooper.
Well, okay. Well, it's this clone veteran, and he looks old, and he looks grizzled, and he looks rough. And who's under all that makeup, Chris?
Boba Fett. Tamara Morris.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you think this could have been Rex?
I think it was just a random one.
You think so? Because he had the blue like Rex.
Here's what's cool though. See how old and rough he looked? He looks older and rougher than Obi-Wan. But he's younger than Obi-Wan.
But he's older because
of the advanced aging.
The process. So the clone troopers.
For the cameo, yeah. They age faster. So he's probably what, 20 years younger? 25 years younger than Obi-Wan?
He's probably 3.
In real time. But in looking at him now, he looks 20 years older than Obi-Wan, or at least as old and just grizzled. And I'm surprised he still fits in that armor.
He could be. And you notice Obi-Wan gave him some money, some creds, and he's like if he was 3, he goes, make poopy,
make poopy in my helmet,
make poopy, make poo poo.
And I think this is the episode that maybe there were some things that bothered me. Okay, well, before we get to that,
you got to mention her.
The spice trade. They're running. Spice is always an underrunning theme in the whole. Maybe that's what he could do for the trilogy. It could be like Breaking Bad meets Star Wars. That could be the.
That could bring in the whole Dark Sun too with Prince Visor from Shadows of the Empire.
So you get this really cool,
that would be awesome, actually.
Mafia type trilogy. It'd be like The Godfather, but with spice and cocaine but spice. Yeah.
And that's how you could bring in the Hutts too.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what he would do.
The Hutt Syndicate, because we know from the Clone Wars that the Hutt Syndicate, it's made up of 5 main families.
Mm-hmm.
So
that could be cool.
It could be cool.
Be a lot of CGI.
So, okay, so this is important too. When he meets the little streetwise girl, saying you're looking to score spice on this.
drug
Do you know who
dealer.
this is?
Call her what she is for what she is. She's out there slinging drugs.
Slinging drugs, but do you know who she is
No,
in real life?
no.
It's Ewan McGregor's daughter.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, he must be so disappointed. That she's
I
kind of
bet
this.
he's thrilled. She was happy. She's like, I'm in Star Wars with my dad. She
Living on
doesn't
the
talk like that.
streets,
That's just my
selling
interpretation
drugs.
of any daughter.
Just selling drugs.
Ellen drugs.
Right.
You must be so proud. Well, he got his start in Train Spotting.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair. That was about heroin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It's still drugs. That could
Still drugs.
could be spice
Yeah.
of the past.
Spice of the life.
Spice
So-
of the life. But she's telling him, what do you need? And he's like, I need information. I am looking, and he says, I'm looking for my daughter.
That's what's great. Telling his real life daughter.
Yep.
Like, I'm right
He's
here,
looking for his
Dad.
daughter. And then right there, I was someone's
This is why
daughter
I'm
once
here. This is
too.
why I'm doing this, because you never notice me. You never know what I'm doing. Now I have to sell drugs.
Well, did you see what she said too?
What?
I was someone's daughter once too. I think that they
Put all that
they
in
worked
there.
that in.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That must have been a cool scene for him to shoot.
And then she gave him a freebie. Said one
That's how they
couple
get you.
more of those, and you'll forget she ever existed. And then he did it, and then he sees baby Grogu crawling on the ceiling, and its head turning around.
Purple Wampas.
Purple Wampas. Anakin comes in. He shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's
still a-
Train Spotting references.
They still a bantha.
It's still a bantha. He feels a bantha again. So then they go in and he hears about a Jedi helping people, and then next thing you know,
This was so I loved this.
oh, I did too. Who is this?
I'm trying to think of it. You're gonna make me say the name because you're gonna butcher the name. Kumal Nanjiani.
Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Kumal Nanjiani.
Yeah.
I actually got that right. Or AKA Kingu
Mm-hmm.
from Eternals.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I think is really cool. He is one of the few celebrities who has crossed in Disney, been both in Marvel and Star Wars.
This is true. I wonder who else has. Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of my head. But
I'm
I
gonna look
know
real quick.
I know there's not a lot of them, and he's one of the few.
You discuss this little scene. I want to see who else has crossed over.
So okay. So he is
Oh, we get Oscar Isaac.
oh well, yeah, definitely Oscar Isaac. I forgot about him.
Let's see who else.
But he's like,
Natalie Portman. No, I found the list now. We got to hit it.
okay, Natalie Portman, yeah.
We got Natalie Portman. Paul Bettany was Dryden Voss.
That's right, because he was in Solo.
Yep. God, I am gonna butcher her name. She's in Black Panther. Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah, wait, who was she in? Okay, she was Maz.
She was Maz,
And-
and then she was Nakia.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Felicity Jones was Jen Erso, and then she was also in a Spider-Man movie.
Which
Samuel
Spider-Man
L.
movie?
Jackson.
Yeah,
How
Samuel.
did we
L.
not even hit that off the beginning?
That should have been the most obvious.
You know,
But
you got
the list is not huge.
Mads Mikkelsen. No, I'm still scrolling.
Oh, are you really? So
Yep.
it's bigger?
Because he was Galen Erso.
What? Wait, he was Galen? I don't think I knew that.
Mads Mikkelsen. Oh yeah. Yep. Let's see. Anybody else that we would just really know? Ming Na Wen.
Wait, who was she in Marvel Universe though?
She was.
I know
She's
Agents
an
of
Agents
Shield,
of Shield. Agent May.
but which isn't canon anymore.
No, but she's still crossed
Yeah,
over.
I guess that would count.
Donald Glover was in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
It's a bit as Prowler's
Mm-hmm.
uncle.
Yeah.
Or his
You
Prowler.
got Woody Harrelson because he was Cletus Cassidy, but he was also in Han Solo.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
don't know. This whole Sony universe.
Andy Serkis, who was Snoke. I didn't know he played Snoke.
Oh, I didn't know he played Snoke either.
We got Forrest
Claw.
Whitaker was in Rogue One. I forgot about him being in Rogue One.
Oh yeah, because he was what's his name?
Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
And then he was in what was he in Marvel Universe?
He was Zuri in Black Panther. He was his not his was his not
No,
his
no, he
dad?
was the priest.
Yeah, that was the priest's name. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the priest. Yeah, I forgot about that.
See any other big ones? Benicio
I retract.
del
There was
Toro.
hardly any one of the few then.
I'm still going. Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, because he was the games master and
He was the collector and
DJ.
yep, he's in The Last Jedi.
Stupidest character ever.
That's a small part. We're not going to count that.
Oh my god, that's freaky. So the way that it's blurring out your eyes and it looks like the way you were doing in your glasses, so it looked like you didn't have any eyes whatsoever.
Weird.
It was just all skin.
Favreau, he was Rio in Solo. John Favreau.
Which one was Rio?
He was the little monkey pilot looking thing in Solo.
Oh, that was
had like
him?
the extra arms. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Anybody else that was?
Again, I retract my statement.
I'm still going. The first X-Men movie. I mean, we're just talking Marvel. We're not talking about Disney-owned Marvel. Toad in the first X-Men movie.
Ray Parker.
Was Ray Park. Yep.
Ray Park.
And then the voice of Darth Maul was seen briefly in Guardians of the Galaxy. That was Peter. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. To understand. Stellan Skarsgård. Oh, yeah. Stellan Skarsgård is going to be in an upcoming Star Wars show. The professor from Thor.
Yeah.
Yep.
AKA the Emperor from Dune.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Baron Harkonnen from Dune. Okay, I digress. We'll go on. I have been proven wrong. Thank you. But it gets you thinking.
Yeah. The voice of BB-8 is supposed to appear in he's also in a Stormtrooper. Yeah, there's just so many. Oh, Amelia Clark is going to be in Secret Invasion, so there's that one that's coming up.
Oh, is she really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I forgot about got her in Solo. Yeah, there's a few. You're right. There wasn't very many.
I'm a fucking liar. Anyways, but you see him. I don't even know what the fuck we're talking
That
about.
set us off on a whole thing.
Yep. Basically he's trying to get people out away from the Empire, and she's like, here you are, all the credits. He's like, bless you. He's pretending to be a Jedi. He's like, I'm reading this. He's got a collaborator on the other line on the comm. He's like, we can't get him out. He's like, you will get them out. I'm like, all right, we'll get them out. He's just a con man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bad con man. But this is usually the kind of character you need that has their foot in the underworld.
Yeah.
So Ben says, I'm looking for my daughter. He's like, I just need some credits. He's like, how much? She's like 500 to locate the girl, another 300 to take you to her.
It's a really good deal.
It is great. Well, and then
I love his character.
I do too. He's a great character.
Well, I think it's kind of cool because the way he portrays that character is how a lot of people, if you kind of, use from the early trilogy and stuff, that they perceived the Jedis to be like, tricksters and manipulators and things like that.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, they don't really do it through the Force. They do it through, mind tricks and manipulation and all that stuff, which is what he's doing. I think it's pretty cool.
So no, I think it's great. I didn't even make that connection.
Mhm.
And I just love how shady his character is. I really do.
Mhm.
But these are the kind of characters I think I love the most.
Oh yeah. And so
Because
he does
They are redeemable.
They are redeemable, which is great. I like a good redemption story.
And I hope we see him throughout the series. I really do.
Oh, we do too. I like him a lot.
He's gonna be like kind of the my guess is like the Hondo. Like you don't know whose side he's always on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll do stuff for creds. But I think this guy has a lot more redeeming qualities.
Yeah. And so, but he does agree to help him find her, and Obi-Wan gets on the hunt, gets to looking, and then we see this spice lab, which is basically Star Wars meth lab.
Yeah, it really is. Lavata Las Manos.
This is Star Wars meets Breaking Bad right here.
It really is.
It'd been cool.
I didn't think about that. It really is
some little, nod in there to it, other than just the gear that they're wearing, because they're in the little processing plant. And well, I mean, there's blue, so maybe that. But yeah, you get your little meth lab explosion, and Obi-Wan uses that as an opportunity to steal a key.
Right. Well, he obviously messed with it.
Yeah, a little. Well, crap, my camera's not picking up right, but you
Yeah,
guys
the little
get the idea.
alien back there looked like Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. For those of you who will get the reference,
This is
bubble-headed alien.
And then you not see the strand you're looking for.
And then you see one of Maul's species coming up to him.
I like that because you don't see them very often.
No, and they're really cool species.
Yeah,
they're very hardy, if I remember.
Until he gets knocked out with one, but he is fighting Obi-Wan.
Yeah, well, and then you have the space Yakuza.
Yeah, Spakuza.
Mm-hmm. Spakuza and his spelunk.
Mm-hmm. And so he's doing his typical you know what? I just realized just from this and rewatch, Obi-Wan sneaks through a lot of corridors. He does a lot of corridor sneaking.
Sneaky, sir.
Like through this, all through A New Hope, he's always sneaking up and down hallways. Like he's a very sneaky guy. But oh no, we got a flea infestation.
And then one of the characters is Prince Visor's race. So, which I thought was very interesting, is the female there.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see what that is. You go on and look it up.
And so Obi-Wan's kind of getting interrogated. They pull his lightsaber off of him. He's getting interrogated. I can't remember the bounty hunter's name, but it's the one that Flea plays. He lets you know the Inquisitor figured it out really soon. So he figures out he's a Jedi. He's like, we're gonna be rich soon, and you're gonna be dead. He's still, hounding like, where's the girl? Where's the girl? And he tells him, like, you're not a Jedi anymore, Kenobi. You're just a man.
Okay, they're called either Fallen or Feline. They're repto-mammalian sentient species, native to the same planet, and they project powerful pheromones.
So Kenobi does a cool thing to get out of there. He basically drops a spice bomb. You see Reva hunting him down. You see Kenobi find Leia, and she's super cautious. Like, she doesn't believe him. Why should I trust you? Where's the army? She's thinking like there's going to be this, rightfully so, this huge attachment of troops to come save her, not just one lone Kenobi. That's
Solo Kenobi.
Solo Kenobi. That'd be a cool like punk band name. And so with
Solo Kenobi.
They leave out of the little spice den. This is one. Okay, we're going to get to this little part through here, and this happens a couple times. It kind of bothers me a little bit. He's trying to sneak her out.
Right.
He's covered up. He's got a face covering on. He's got her pretty well hidden. Like, nobody can see his face with a little mask on. Reva shows up, realizes he's gone, and he's like, we got to change. Of course, because they're going to be looking for that garb and stuff. But they're changing out in the open. she realizes he's a Jedi. Like she makes the comment like, you seem kind of old and beat up.
I love that.
You know, like no filter on this child.
This is why it's awesome.
But he tells me, you know, we got to make it to the last transport. She's like, okay, let's go. And he knows that they're going to be hunted, but they don't do anything like cover your face, do something to blend in a little bit more. And they really don't. They're just like, we're just going to make a run for it.
We're just going to run and everyone will know our names.
Yeah. Like you're supposed to be this like clandestine master, this general, but you're like, we're just going to go out in the open. It'll be fine. Nobody will catch it.
Well, and I love how it's like, basically it's the same thing as like, hey, there's a bar here. What's the bar's name? Cheers. Let's go in there and hide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because everybody's going to know your name once you get.
They
Is that where you're going with it?
Ben!
Oh God.
Or Ben! Be like, how's it going today, Mr. Kenobi?
Yeah. That's basically what they're doing, running through the street, totally exposed.
Mm-hmm. You see Reva walking through, and then here's the Grand Inquisitor with Fifth Brother, and then we see another Inquisitor who we haven't met yet.
I can't keep them straight because I'm terrible with fractions.
And he got fractions. The Grand Inquisitor goes, "You would dare kidnap an Imperial Senator's child?" So that's the first time we actually hear what Bail Organa is, because he was a Republican the Grand Republic Senator.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know that's how they stayed in power, was he became an Imperial Senator.
Yep. Keep them close.
Keep them real close.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
And she admits, I used the girl as bait. And the Inquisitor's like, oh. Bless me.
And then she's like, bless you, Inquisitor. Please continue.
Thank you. Man, that just hit.
Yeah, he's allergic to the spice.
It was the spice. And then she's basically like, why are you doing this? You know, it won't change who you are. And she's like, what do you mean, Reva? And he's like, the least of us. You're gutter. You're gutter trash. And it's like, you have ability. Sure, it gave you station, but no matter how much power you get, you're smelly.
Yeah, you stink.
You stink. You're shitty.
You know, and I think, is that him just kind of referencing to what we know? And like, you knew from the opening scene, if you like just paying a little bit of attention, that was her during Order 66.
Yeah.
And so do you think that's what he's referencing about being that far beneath? That you were just a youngling when we got you?
No.
Okay.
Because.
Or is he just
they don't
pulling rank?
He's pulling rank because they don't know that they don't know anything about Order 66 with her, because we haven't gotten there yet.
I just kind of wondering if that line was a throwback to that, to them knowing, or him knowing.
I see where you're going with that, but I don't think it is, because episode 5 showed us everything.
Okay.
But, well, it could be because of episode 5 now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, he's
I see
quite
where
a
you're
bit
going
older,
with that.
And so he could have, you know, been on either side of it at the time, or he could have been made. I mean, we know he's aware.
And then but we don't know at this point.
No, we don't know. But now we know that he knew.
But we knew that he knew. Now that we know. But she didn't know that he knew that we know.
Yeah, but we knew then. We had an idea.
Touché.
We had a rough idea then, but now we know. So.
Well, and if you all aren't, following us, fuck you, Banner.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we're going to hear about this one. And, fuck you, Chove.
No.
Not Chove.
So it's like, now they're kind of dressing up. He does at least put the hood on. You know, she's getting some gloves. This part kind of threw me off, because for some reason, like, they made a little bit of a deal out of the gloves. So I was wondering if that was just showing her being a kid wanting something.
Right.
Excuse me. Or if that has some significance to some Easter egg that I missed. But now you see there's bounty hunters everywhere. They put out a bolo on Kenobi and the girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, he puts his hood on. He did that much at least, but man, like I don't know. I just feel like he could. I know it's for the show.
He could have done it better.
Yeah, they could have hidden a lot better than they did. Pull the hood around your face.
But
Put
if
the
you
hood
think
over the
about
girl.
it, that's like the Jedi of old, the Kenobi of old. Like even when they were supposed to be incognito, all they did was wear those damn robes with the hoods.
Oh god, we can't let anybody see us. We're better to Clark Kent it right now.
Yeah.
But,
And everyone's like, where'd Obi-Wan go?
oh my god, we lost him. Yeah.
And then he takes off his hood. It's like, there he is. Then
Yeah. That's just like putting C3PO compatible ports on everything in the damn Empire. But, you know, or not R2 compatible ports on everything. Just change the port out. If they would have used different interface, we wouldn't even have a movie.
which
But
is
whatever.
true. do 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 do, and it's over.
Yeah, R2, see if you can hack the system. I'm not compatible. Well, shit.
Do 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 do. Cue in sequence. Well, and then Leia's just giving him shit the whole time. It's like, what's your name? He's like, Ben. She's like, that's not a Jedi name.
Really not. The great
No.
Jedi Ben.
A great Jedi, Chris and Kyle.
Like, oh, Jedi Master Steve. We're so glad we found you.
Steve? Yeah.
We
My parents didn't love me,
kind of ran out of cool names whenever.
so I'm just Steve.
I'm just Steve.
Just Jack.
I would actually love just a super powerful force
Jedi
sensitive
named
type.
Steve.
Just named Steve, just running around kicking
He
ass.
just goes by Steve.
Mm-hmm.
It is the great Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Steve, I sensed your presence, Steve.
And he doesn't wear a
Steve is-
cloak. He wears a big button that says, hello, my name is Steve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when he wants to hide, he just flips the button around and puts his hood on. Like,
And it says-
nobody will know I'm Steve now.
It says, this is not Steve.
Yeah, not Steve.
Not Steve.
Excuse me, we're looking for Steve, and he just points at the button like, carry on.
So here's a good look where we get a good look at the of the Inquisitors' lightsabers on their backs. Those are the exact same ones as in Rebels.
Something that's kind of cool. I don't think it's an intentional thing. But I just noticed it. Like I said, you know, I went back and watched after we got caught up on the show. I went back and watched A New Hope. And it's just in when Obi-Wan is deactivating the reactors.
Right.
You know, he's like huddling around the little, which they put the reactors in really weird places, anyways. But whatever. So he's pulling the switches, and there's a lever he pulls down, and it's got a arc shape to it that looks really similar to the hand guards on those Inquisitor sabers.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I get that.
Look, you know, similar. Maybe they only have like one designer in the Empire, and like, you know what, we're just gonna reuse this file.
It's like no one will ever know. It's
Nobody will
fine.
know. Nobody. We'll just reuse the
It's fine.
asset.
You
It's
know
fine.
what? So the Death Star had that one port that was vulnerable to stuff. We'll put it in Star Killer Base too.
Yeah, nobody will
It's
know.
fine. No one will know. It's like, why do we keep reusing this firm?
I know. You know, the name of the firm is something like, I don't
Steve's firm.
know. It's probably like Kenobi Consulting. Like, man, when
Kenobi
did we use
Consulting.
Kenobi Consulting again? It's probably, what if it's Obi-Wan's brother? He's the architect for all that. And
It's called Not Kenobi's.
not Kenobi's. Oh, not Kenobi's.
Oh, not Kenobi's.
Yeah, consulting and graphic design.
Your Alderanian treat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not Kenobi's. And then here's where Leia starts getting a little suspicious. She's like, I don't know anything about you. And he's like, wait, how do I know you're not the real kidnapper? You're Obi-Wan. How do I know that they're not, you know, that you're not, they're not using me to get to you? She's a smart little girl.
Would have made it better. She'd be like, let go of my purse. I don't know you.
I don't know you. And then she punched him in his Jedi dick.
And takes off running. Yeah.
And he goes, oh, my lightsaber.
Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Floppy one Kenobi. Floppy one. That's the best. basically, then we see it's a chase scene, the worst chase scene ever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going through, the market, and he's not even running after her. It's a brisk walk. One thing I did think was pretty cool was the mealworm in the cage, and then the beholder there from D&D.
Hold on, go back then. Where was it?
Right here. Hold on.
Yeah, she runs under the thing.
She goes under the rider from the Dark Crystal.
Uh-huh. Lots of crossovers.
See the mealworm? And then the beholder?
Oh, okay, yeah. I like that they use practical effects for that.
I do too. I think it would lose a lot if they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like even my kids, when I was watching A New Hope with Little Man, like he was pointing out how real things looked, and then he's like, that doesn't look real. And he was talking about the CGI.
Yeah.
That was added
Yeah.
in.
And that's why Grogu works out so well too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. CGI Grogu would have been terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So then Obi-Wan pulls out, his blaster and kills someone and starts mass panic.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitors have people lined up. They're looking for Kenobi. They know he's there. Then we have a little detachment of stormtroopers. If you saw them walking, would you be scared? I'd be like, they're not going to hit me anyway.
Mm-mm. No, I'm not worried about them shooting at me. What's odd is that like their aim got really better during where was it? They were shooting really good at. Like there's random bits of them like shooting good.
So there is in Rebels, Rex called why they can't shoot.
Oh yeah.
He's dressed up with Kanan, who we saw him in Bad Batch. But they're dressed up like troopers, and Rex gets pissed. He's like, "Oh, I can't see anything in this stupid thing." Pulls off the helmet because he's shooting at stormtroopers. Hits a stormtrooper with it, then shoots, kills 2 of them right off the bat the minute he took off the helmet.
Nice.
So that could be part of it.
Part of that
funny part.
That Kenobi consulting firm probably designed the helmets too.
Oh no! Oh, not
Kenobi.
Oh, not Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Consulting.
We get a cool rooftop fighting scene here where they're running and going.
This was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it when Reva was standing on the rooftop and she could see it from a distance, and then you got Obi-Wan fighting a space gator with a laser.
I think we saw him in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the game.
Yep, I think we did.
And then here's one of the bounty hunters. It looks like Forlom, one of the bounty hunters from. We actually see Forlom in Rebels, but Forlom was also in Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
He's the bug-looking robot, like has the bug head with the 3PO body that's all black.
Yeah, I think you see him in A New Hope too. I think it is one of those in the bar. In the bar,
the cantina, Mos Eisley.
I thought we saw some of the parts in with the Jawas. I don't know.
Oh, it could be too.
Yeah.
It's not Forlom, but it's the whatever his assassin droid or bounty hunter droid, whatever he is.
So
Leia's falling, and then she's like, finally, "Oh, help me, Obi-Wan!" And she's like, "I trust you now."
Yeah. Well.
And what is important about this part?
Well, he uses the Force for the first time in a while, and you can see that
first time in 10 years.
Yeah, and he's a little rusty with it. It's taken a lot out of him to hold this small human from smashing into the ground. Like he really had to focus.
Right.
Normal usage, Obi-Wan had just been like whoop and brought her back up to him.
Just shows you how out of touch with the Force he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see later on what happens when you stay in tune with the Force for a long time and you just let it flow through you. How strong you can be.
Take some Pepto.
Take some Pepto. Let the Force flow through you.
Force Pepto.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "You really are a Jedi." And people are all watching. He's like, "Here, hold my hand."
Yeah, nobody. That would have been a good time to you saw nothing. You didn't.
Or put your damn hood up.
This is not the child you're looking for. Something.
And they're like,
along
"Yeah,
those
it
lines.
is. We watched you.
We saw the whole thing happen, Ben."
And then here's where Obi-Wan's explaining to her Inquisitors, many were Jedis who will now hunt their own kind.
Mm-hmm.
This is important. And then there's the Forlom thing. It's about to kill him. And then we see, what is his name?
Haja Estri.
Haja. We
Yep.
see Haja. It's like, there's an exit. It's cargo point. Cargo port, go there. Go to transport 8. And
Take
he's
the
like,
suppository.
suppository.
That's what it looked
He's
like.
like, expect me to trust you. You're a criminal. And he's like, I've made a few bad decisions. Sure. Do I feel bad about it? Sometimes. I love that line. I like credits. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
So
you
much
can buy
stuff you can buy with credits. And then he's like, Haja, and he's like, you remembered my name? He's like, I'm trying to make amends. I got that family safe, and I'm gonna do the same for you.
Yeah.
And
So-
this is your redemption arc.
Yeah, this is the kickoff for it, for sure. And oh, excuse me, a little Yanni on there.
Yeah, I think we're definitely ending after this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you don't have a whole lot of choice. He's telling me you got to trust me. So he's really setting up Hodge's character. I like how he throws the hood
Yeah.
on too.
Well, and I like how he shot the thing after it was already dead. And now we see the Grand Inquisitor with his saber. It's a dual-ended lightsaber
With propeller ability.
with propeller, which is awesome, like Grievous used to do.
Yeah.
And it goes around real fast, and then you see Flea and Flea no more.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was under the bridge. So Flea got chopped. And then I like how Haja.
Haja. He
Haja.
runs it. He meets Reva in the alleyway, and he's like, "You found me. I'm a Jedi." Like he's willing to sacrifice himself right here.
Well, I like how he starts whispering, "I am a Jedi."
Yeah, I am.
He does the Batman thing. I'm a Jedi. I have bounty of 2 million.
Mhm.
She's like, you're not a Jedi. You know where one is. She's like, I'm the only Jedi around.
And then when he realized that she has powers when she slams him, force slams him.
Yep.
You know, he's
Like, I'm not
"Okay."
going to tell you. She's like, I don't need you to.
And she sucks it out of his brain with her hand, like
She
she
just
reads.
walks. Like, it's
But-
odd she didn't kill him because she was killing innocents at the beginning.
Yeah, but I thought that like we kept talking about his redemption arc starting off strong, and like there it was. Like he very well could have died right then. And I think he knew it.
Yeah,
You know,
but he didn't say anything.
He told an inquisitor that he was a Jedi. Inquisitors kill Jedis and force sensitive people.
Yep.
So
And so it was great.
And
I really
innocence.
liked that part.
so he was just like stacking it against himself there.
And then he's like, then you see Leia and Obi-Wan like kind of debating. She's like, should we do this? And Leia's like, he's offering his help. We need to take it.
Yeah.
And that was Leia's thing. She was a negotiator. She could always make people see her point of view.
And she was stubborn, even though she was stubborn about being told that she was stubborn and saying that she wasn't stubborn.
Yep. In Obi-Wan reference, a lady who was very much like her.
Mhm.
What did he say? You just remind me of someone. He didn't say you remind me of your mother.
Mm-mm.
If she was fearless and stubborn.
She's like, I'm not stubborn.
And he
are.
said, yeah, you are. No, I'm not.
Hey, I'm not. R2.
D2.
Oh. But yeah, he
And-
gives her a little insight about her mom without saying that was her mom, and that she died a long time ago.
Yeah. And she was a leader too.
Yeah. How highly he thought of Padme.
Which Padme, was a great character.
Yeah. And so now, he realized that Reva's closing in on him. That is such a cool saber.
And I
Like
like the Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm. Taunting him. He sends, Leia onto the ship. Tony, I'll be right behind you. And I think this is where we get a pretty good fight scene. Like we see some cool lighting effects with the red glow of Reva's saber as she's approaching, and then we finally, he's holding his saber. He hasn't hit it on yet, but he like knows that it's almost time. You get a really cool like follow up scene where Reva is is hunting him down, is tracking him. You see Obi-Wan just sitting there, like almost looks like he's almost in a panic, like he's clasping his lightsaber, and this is like super important. You can tell he's panicking. She can sense him, and then she says he's alive.
And then Obi-Wan's face, and she goes, "Oh, you didn't know?"
Anakin Skywalker is alive.
Well, and then it makes you wonder, how the hell does Reva know Anakin Skywalker?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a key point. She's like, "I'll be the one to deliver you to him." And this is a really big part too. And the Grand Inquisitor shows up. It's like, "Move aside. I can't risk you losing him. I will be the one to get Kenobi." And so she moves aside, her saber's out. And he's like, "Watch and learn." And then she runs his ass through with her saber. She's like, "You really don't think I'd let you take all the credit?" He looks at her and then just falls dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Who's in the gutter now?" I love that. The way she said that, you knew she would say something like that.
Well, you gotta deliver a line.
Didn't disappoint. Okay, so this part was kind of important too, because I remember watching the internet just go up in arms about this. Like, the Grand Inquisitor sucked. He was there for 2 episodes. Grand Inquisitor is around in Rebels.
Which happens after all this.
4 years after all this. This is why anyone who's watched Star Wars stuff will know he's around in Rebels.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything else.
Yeah. Just to say he's pulling Darth Maul on us there. So
yeah, absolutely. And then she's yelling, "We will find you." She's like that crazy ex.
Mm-hmm. I like this scene when it's like the ship's flying away. And go back just a little bit. Like after she says, "We will find you," and the ship's flying away, and you look down and you can see her just like swing her saber angrily, like very tiny little red blip.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I thought that was really cool visual thing.
It just shows how strong the saber is, like of a light.
Yeah, got a lot of brightness to it.
Next thing you know, you got Obi-Wan sitting there. He is visibly shaken of the realization that Anakin is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't know Anakin's Vader.
Nope.
He went into hiding.
That's what you get for hiding out, Obi-Wan.
Crappy one.
Mm-hmm. And it just wraps up with him just saying Anakin. And then you get a cut to Vader in, I'm guessing that's the back to tank.
And his back to tank, opening his eyes. And what's the flash fact on Vader right here?
Well, that is Hayden Christensen as
which
Vader.
I think is awesome that they actually brought him back.
Yep. Took a couple episodes to get it going. You knew it was coming that they were going to meet Vader, because they did build up for that. And it's great that they brought Hayden back for that, because we'll see in later episodes as we go through those our thoughts on that. And spoiler alert, they're not negative.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
Mm-mm.
So we're going to end here because we're struggling. We're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
We're old. It's Father's Day. I know you want to go spend some time with your kids. I want to do the same. We apologize for not doing the overview, but again, we're having too much damn fun with this show.
Yep. We may be able to kick out a couple of these. These may be running behind with the show, but give you guys some time to digest the actual, Obi-Wan show itself, and then come back and hear our thoughts on it and contribute in the Discord. Join that and tell us what you think.
So, all right. So thoughts on the first 2 episodes. Do you have a overview?
I really liked them, and then going back and reviewing those after seeing the latter episodes, really cool. It's really, really cool.
I do.
I think it's setting up for some cool things. Just going back, and I think I can hit on this now, and then we can really get on it a little bit more in the later episodes. As I said several times through our episode here, I went back and rewatched A New Hope for the first time in a couple months after watching Obi-Wan here. And it seems like if you think about it chronologically, in order, we see an older Obi-Wan in Episode 4 and in A New Hope, and there's things that it seems like he doesn't remember or he's like kind of rushed about, and it just kind of makes me wonder how broken his mind is from this point here, realizing that Anakin is still alive and that it's not, I don't want to call it like not senile, but just like he's just so broken, even in A New Hope, that he doesn't remember things, doesn't want to tell Luke things. There's just things that are better kept from him than him finding out on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And he does things out of the normal Jedi way that we've seen it set up with how long you train your Padawan and how you do things. And he's just like eager to, we have to pass it on at no matter the cost now. It's just really interesting to think about. And we know that wasn't the thought process when A New Hope was made for Obi-Wan to be that way, but the way that they're writing things, I think they can lead up to it to make it make sense to why he does the things he does in A New Hope, or the way he acts and interacts with things and the way he talks to Luke. He's just that kind of grizzled old man that knows his time's up.
I think you just nailed it. Like, I literally have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, go back and rewatch it if you can sometime this week, and just think and put into context the things we're seeing in the Obi-Wan show and what we know from the prequel now tied to the Obi-Wan show. And I don't have any reference in Rebels, so there's probably a lot of stuff there that I'm missing. But that's just how I'm seeing the evolution of Obi-Wan, because we know how it ends for him.
Yep.
And so my perception of how it was when I first saw him and the several hundred times I've seen him after that in A New Hope, and then how this is leading up to his story, I've got a different perception of him now in A New Hope.
Better understanding.
Well, yeah, better understanding. And it's just an interesting thing to see. So I would recommend that after we wrap up this one, this series is over, everybody go back and rewatch that and just kind of see if it's changed how you think of how he acts and stuff. And it's a pretty cool thumbs up to the writers of this series and everything else, of how you can change something that's already been set in stone for 30 something years, your perception of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know what you all think. We will do another episode. It'll probably just be over 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So we get caught up. But you guys have a good rest of your week. And with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And thank you guys for listening wherever you are. Have a good morning, night, evening, whatever time it is. And please be good to each other.
See ya.
Nerd
See ya.
Coke, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd Coke, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made-up word. MCs shied away from